brownie art. There's also a pixel empire, some kind of neon culture. I don't know what that is. And then there's the sign that always says, open, dead inside. I think they're supposed to be don't open, dead inside, but it just says open, dead inside.
Sounds like...
I think that's how you feel coming out.
Well, I'll drink some coffee on that one. Oh, we're live now?
Yeah.
As Seraphis do.
Yep. It just happens randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And late.
Yeah.
Gotta have those two factors. Otherwise, it's not a Surface stream. So,
It's part of the charm.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
so what do y'all have going on today?
Sleep later.
Yeah, it's late
once
for
this
you.
is over. Yep. Because it's 11:06 p.m. So,
yeah.
Sleep is good.
Yeah.
I don't see how you do it. I can't stay up that late anymore.
Right?
I'm old.
No, I've got to, because otherwise I would go to bed with like a brain full of anger and hate and basically everything that turns my Sith on. And then I'm just angry in bed all night, seething and going further to the dark side.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just... yesterday I was at Summers all day. Well, most of the day. Doing peach cobbler cinnamon rolls.
Whoa. Wow.
And it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't like... So Thursday, up at 5, work. I actually work at 8, but usually in the morning I'm doing something.
I get it.
At work, and then I get off at 4:30, and then at 5 is game number 1. It goes until 8 or 9. Get up at 5 Friday, work. Next game is at 5 p.m. Friday. Goes until 8 or 9. Get up at 4:30.
Jeez.
Stream from 5 to 7:30. Half hour, 8 o'clock over at Summers. So it's kind of like, I'm so tired.
Little did you know, becoming a YouTuber, what all it would take out of you.
Oh my
gosh. On top of everything else that you're already doing.
There are genuine moments where I'm like, should I just quit? Should I just stop? I'm not a huge channel. Who cares? And then usually right when I think that is like, well, I usually game when I get up anyways. So fine, I'll just stream when I'm gaming.
Yeah.
And then somebody in chat will say something like, oh, you're too hard on yourself. You're better than you think. We love you. And I'm here for I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm ranting too much. I'm not concentrating on the game. I should focus on the game. That's what I need to do. And they're like, no, we love like all of the support starts coming out. Or someone in a Discord will post something like like, oh, don't rush yourself. It's okay. We'll be fans no matter what. Like they post these wonderful things. And I'm like, oh, I can't quit now.
Yeah.
I have to keep going.
And then you try and play the games and, Slan and I just basically distract you every chance we get.
You try. I'm getting slowly more and more immune to that. Well, and it helps if I'm playing a game I've played before, like the first like Subnautica and Dungeons I've played before. And Subnautica lends itself a lot better to just stopping and chatting, I think, a little bit. And then calling you back when you're hunger and water or whatever. Like, oh, shoot, I'm going to die. I need to eat more food. Hello, Grumpy. But Lost in Random is like, I can't even, I have to aim. I have to not get hit. I have to aim at a specific part of the crystal. I have to look for the little lines to dodge. I have to watch the chat. I have to see where my cards are to see if I need to talk. I mean, there's like kind of a lot going on. But I played a little single player this morning and it was like a lot better. like the combat, the speed, my efficiency was a lot better. So I think I'm finally wrapping my head around how to do the combat a lot better.
If I could figure out a good way to stream my PlayStation, I would definitely start doing some live stream of me trying to play Elden Ring. I've beat the game. I've gone through it twice. I mean, I've beat the game twice, but it's still a fucking challenge just to stay. I mean, the terrain kills me more so than the creatures and monsters in it. But I mean, I think you guys would get a big belly laugh out of just I become a different person. My anger goes through the roof, and I'm so tempted to just chuck that damn controller at the TV. And the only thing that stops me is, no, that's an expensive TV. No, that controller's an $80 controller. We're not going to do that, Brian. Come on now.
Let's not do that. I have never played a From Software game and probably never will.
Oh, it'll just drive you ape shit.
That's for, I mean, I'm in it to relax and have a good time and mostly to immerse myself in a world.
You need to pick up Stray. Play Stray.
That people have said that. Yeah, people have said that.
That'll do it.
You know, you say that about From Software, but I have been invested in every single Armored Core game, and I love those to bits.
What?
Yeah, they're fun.
The Armored Core series. That was From Software.
Oh, I have no idea. Never even heard of that.
I should like Armored Core. The one time I tried to play, I'm like, I don't know what this controller is asking me to do.
Which one did you try playing?
Oh, this was literally like over 20 years ago. I don't even remember.
Okay, so you could have been either trying to
Armored Core 1.
It was probably
Armored Core Arena.
I think it was like I think it was on the PlayStation 2, but regardless.
Oh, Armored Core 2.
Probably. But yeah, I
But that one had the better controls.
Down was sideways, up was fire. I don't remember. Don't ask me. It was just literally did not last more than a few minutes.
It's sad when you have to draw out a schematic like where the pitch and the yaw is for your controller.
Oh, you were bitching just like my friend. I tried to get into playing, and then he goes and gets Dark Souls. No, Demon Souls, yeah. And says I should play that. I'm like, dude, I'm playing the game that they made before that. You idiot. The difference is a big robot or a continually dying person. But either way, robot blow up, person die by dragonfire. What do you want?
Are the controls really the same, or did they like change things?
Oh, I mean, there's a little bit of difference because, you know, one's a mech game and one's a, you know, hacky.
Yeah, like medieval, dodgy. Dark. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, no. I think it's more down to how you perceive it rather than anything else because, yeah, he needed to just get good.
Well,
and yes, Bane, I'm calling you out.
And I'm firmly willing to say that I was not good. You know, I just remember that it went horribly sideways. And like I gave up and I've never tried again.
I mean, to be fair, I've probably cussed out Pong as well, so
yeah. I mean, there's a challenge. You know, it's like when I was trying to defeat Royam, which took me 3-4 tries, I think. There's you know, a challenge, and you kind of get a little, all right, let's do this. Like, I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. You know, like you kind of get fired up, and then when you beat it, there's that sense of catharsis. And then there's like, I am literally just smashing my head against a brick wall uselessly, injuring myself, wasting my time. No, and you walk away. And for each person, that will be a different level.
Tori, I was in each of those chats, of those streams. It was not 4 times.
It was.
It was 4 squared, maybe.
For how many was
16,
it?
18, 24 times.
Yeah, how many? I genuinely don't. I'm so bloody tired, you guys. I don't know how many was. I know it took
think-
two streams.
Yeah, I reckon you probably, by the time you finished, I reckon you had attempted to take out Royam about 13 times.
Oh, was it? Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so many. That's so many.
Because, like, with some, you got only a little bit in and then died. And then in others, you got, going, boom, and then he got you.
It was that one section, like the third, you know how there's like phases?
Yeah.
It was that one phase where he is attacking simultaneously to all the little dudes, and I could not the dodge button is space, and you're supposed to dodge when those little white lines pop up. And I was just basically doing this with the space button, like pop, 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 and it was just like dodge, 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 and then I'd still get hit because there was just so many attacks at once. But finally did it. But I'm better now. I swear, I'm better now. I think probably.
I stand by my last comment of you're doing too well in this stream. Someone's clearly hacked your stream.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fun go. Like I loaded up a single player. I just started from the beginning, so I wouldn't see any new content. And I started over and was playing through it. And I think that I'm probably going to do a little bit better next time, as I've sort of got my head wrapped around the, like, I was basically being too precious with resources. Like, you ever do that in games where you're like, oh, I got this healing potion, but do I really need to use it right now? And it's so bad with me sometimes where I just will not use it because I'm saving it. And then you finish the game and you have 20 some on health potions that you never used or whatever. So
every single Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah. Like, I might need this someday.
I'm programmed into the old style of games where, like, if you used a chem or a health potion too many times, it would stop letting you use them.
Oh,
so I
that's
always
a thing?
think, yeah, that used to be a thing. So you could only have so many stim packs or only take so many health potions before it said you've taken too many. I think it was like 5 or something, but they could be any kind of 5. But yeah, if you were like in the middle of a combat and you were doing shit, yeah,
And they're
you'd
done
be
that.
fucked.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. So this game is a little bit different. You need to you know, every time you roll, you need to use that number as much as you can to do as much as you can. And I still don't know how the redraw, because like at one point in time I used to play Magic, and it's like if you draw a card in your hand and then you play that card, unless you had another one in your deck, that card was done. Like once it got into the graveyard, you know, unless you've res or whatever. But for the most part, once you played it, it was done. But I play that game and it's like I get health potions, 4 draws. I only have 2 health potion cards. I've used 6 of them, and somehow I'm still drawing health potions. So I don't know if it just loads from the full deck every time you throw the dice. I'm still trying to figure out how sacred or how, you know, like how many times do I get to use this before I really don't have any? And it's not making sense to me in that aspect. But that, I mean, it would help.
Have you not Googled it yet?
I have not, no.
Oh,
That's kind of how Elden Ring works too, with health potions. You know, but you can choose how many you have. You can have up to 11, but then you also have mana potions. So you have to kind of do a balance between, you know, do I need mana so I can cast stuff, or do I need health so I can stay alive? And it's a balance. But what kind of is disappointing about the game, it is so beautiful. It is a really good looking game, but it's so deadly that you don't have time to stop and look at the roses, as it were. Yeah. Because you're just constantly moving from place to place so that you don't die.
Yeah. When I played the original Diablo 1, that was you only get 8 slots on your belt. And it's like, I used to do 4 health, 4 mana. And then I would always play a rogue, and I would level up my rogue with the max number of healing books I could find to level up that spell. and I got to a point where it would cost me 5 mana to heal full health. So then I would
Yeah.
just load my whole bar with mana potions to extend the overall length of healing that I had.
Well, that seems like a good point to bring us into the conversation, which maybe ask you onto the stream for today, which was Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Oh man,
It was the weirdest thing ever. But like the
I mean, it is the weirdest thing ever. I agree. Did
Well,
you
just hold your beer. Watch this.
Did you ever get the Superman Easter egg in Dragon Age Origins?
And I don't think so. I can't think of it off the top of my head if I did.
It's a random encounter, and basically, as you're traveling from one point to another, usually it's along the Brazilian road. There's a chance encounter that there'll be a cutscene, and you'll see this asteroid hit, and then these two
Oh yeah,
villages
yeah,
come up. Yep.
I remember that. As soon as you said it, I remember it now. I
Yep.
was recently playing Inquisition. I haven't touched the original for a fair bit. I think fall last year, probably earlier this year. I remember that now.
Mm.
I love those games. Despite their flaws, I love those games.
See, man, I know that they have their flaws, but I prefer the earlier games to the later ones because I feel like the later ones keep trying to, especially from what I'm seeing of this upcoming Dragon Age, it really feels like they're trying to change the overall theme of the setting,
Yeah.
which is that same problem I have with WotC with D&D, where they gaslit people with, oh, this new edition is going to be Greyhawk, and then what they do with D&D Direct, the first thing we're releasing is two setting books for Forgotten Realms.
I hadn't
Fuck
watched
you
the
guys.
direct, but
Oh yeah. So yeah,
You didn't miss much.
yeah, you did not miss much.
I didn't figure I did. I haven't even caught up on any news about it or anything. Like I saw I think one video past my YouTube and I was like, whatever. Yeah. What's D&D Direct?
It's shit. That's what it is. But yeah, in that same and the art style that they keep being like, we're so proud of this, and then just make all their stuff about the freaking pictures and whatnot.
I still think they missed a beat. I think that what they should have done is release the PHB, have one or two cool full page, art pieces, like one or two. Put all of the information that they wanted to in the PHB in the index and have it be organized. Because I've heard a lot of people say that it is at least genuinely organized a little bit better for new players.
Yeah.
But remove most of the art out of that and then release a separate companion book that is all the art pieces for another $50. I mean,
my son picked up the 2024 Player's Handbook. We were in a shop; they had it on the shelf, so he grabbed it with the new cover. We all know Brian's opinion on how much art should be in a book, Okay. And while I understand his point, let's be honest, most of us disagree with him. We'd like a little bit more art than Brian would like in a book.
Yeah.
I would be willing. Hold on. I haven't made my joke yet. I mean, my comment yet. I would be willing to accept Brian's level of art in this new player's handbook if they would just remove like all of the art that doesn't inspire me to go on an adventure, which is almost all of the art in the new player's handbook. It's
or just create the stupid freaking cartoony setting that they clearly want to make.
no,
And-
it's not even a cartoony setting. I don't know what it is, but it's like, and the worst part is the art isn't bad from like a technical standpoint. No, just from a technical standpoint.
Just
But
from
it's
like a skill level standpoint. Yeah.
but it ain't appropriate. That's for dang sure. Anyways, actually, no, appropriate's not a good word.
I like the weapons drawings that they have. Those are pretty cool.
Right.
Hi, babe.
I'd probably still stick with one of the Palladium weapons and armor books as opposed to, anyway,
Sure.
regardless, let's just say there are words I want to use about the art that, let's just say, they're generally not acceptable on the internet.
Dude. Look who you're streaming with, man.
I was gonna say.
I don't want me demonetized, canceled, whatever. I don't want you to risk not getting monetized eventually.
Dude,
Okay.
I've already said cunt too many times.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was talking. I'm also very tired, but I
Yeah.
apologize. Good morning, Bear.
Oh my god! Good morning. So we did a flip through of the art on my channel the other day. Remember? And we did a live through the PDF that magically appeared in my inbox. And I'd say there's a half dozen good pieces in there.
Yeah, there's
But
not zero.
I don't know how you can tell me that the Dwarven Foundry Cafe doesn't inspire you to adventure, Brian. Please. Okay.
I'm
Look,
not
lie
using
to your
words.
I'm
audience.
fascinated
You must-
that his drink is invisible.
Wow.
Oh, that's true.
Because it's not real. It's not real. That's why.
It's like some kind of predator thing going on or something. That's cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
how the Mormons get you, by the way. You don't see them coming, then suddenly, boom! Ah, the
Bam!
Mormon.
Soda can to the face.
Damn! How'd that happen? I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, sexy.
Hey, Sax.
Hello.
I don't know. I don't think it's bad enough to I don't care. I don't think it was like super bad or anything. I don't think it was super great. I don't think it was super bad. From what little I have seen, it seems like there's kind of a lot of art in there, but I also
Too
like
much.
art.
It's too much.
So-
You trim out half that garbage art, because there is one artist they use a lot who is just garbage in that book. You trim out all their non-purposeful, no other than just space-filling art, you'll trim 50 pages out of that book in layout, man. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I
The-
think.
The
No, go ahead,
School
Brian.
of
Go ahead.
Dance Bard. Just gonna leave it there.
I think that's kind of my.
Grandma Paladin. I'm just going to leave it there.
Oh, I didn't
That's
see
my
that one.
favorite picture ever is Grandma Paladin. Come on, Grandma, we're going to the dungeon. Get your armor on. Like, Jesus.
I think that's part of my issue with it is, and the content of the art itself irrelevant. I mean, it's fine if you don't like it. It's great if you do. My contention is that, Baron, you said the words that you said were spot on. There is a lot of artwork that is in that book that is simply there for filler.
Yeah.
That is what I don't like.
I
It's
feel like they should have
Watson's-
sold it as a separate book, because then like you make double the money, right?
Well, they used to do
Not
that back in the TSR days. You used to be able to
Yeah.
get the art of D&D books, and they were great. And they had lots of dragon covers and stuff like that. They were really good books. But the thing is that this whoever was their layout, whoever's in charge of their layout for this book is terribly afraid of white space. Now, I'm renowned for my dislike of white space and layout. Like, I don't care for big gaps of nothing, right?
Yeah.
But there's still sometimes you're going to have gaps of nothing in layout that there's nothing you can really do about it. You're just going to have a little, banner-sized column of nothing, right? They went out of their way to fill every damn space in this book with art. And there's one artist who I'll happily punch up the PDF and show you if you want. They use them a lot. And they are the worst artist of the bunch. And they get the most amount of work in the book for some reason. Probably because they were cheap. Probably. Before we go any further, I did want to say hello to Tori, because I always enjoy getting to be on a stream with Tori, because Tori brings such a different energy to this entire conversation than the rest of us, always. Except this time I'm going to say, oh, you sweet summer child. I don't care. I don't care. It's whatever in the middle. No. This is your first round of this. You have to understand you're a 5e baby. 5e babies don't know that we've gone through this 4 times before. This is just round 6 of the same bullshit for us, right? So it's like,
I mean, I started on 3.5, but those were already long in production at that point, so it wasn't really like it was being talked about. And
stop ruining my image of you with facts, please. I can't have facts get in the way of this perfectly good image I painted in my head, Tori. Come on.
Oh, I spent most of until 3 years ago, if that. I was never on any of the D&D communities on YouTube. I've never been to any of the Reddit, anything like most of my years and years of D&D was just me and the 4 people I played it with, and that was it. There was no community, there was no talking to people, there was no following news, there was no D&D direct, there was none of that. You just a product released on the shelf and you went up and in fact, a friend of mine bought the book for me, because it's not like we have a game shop or anything like that. She had somehow found out, like through Twitter, which I was not on, that there was a new edition of D&D, and she ordered the book and brought it to me, and that's how I got started on 5e in the first place. So it was very, very closed off from a lot of this stuff.
How long had you been playing before you got into 5e?
So I started playing in probably 07.
So 7 years before 5e came out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so right at the end of 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, because I think she got the book. I don't think she got me the book like right when it released, but it was like somewhere in the first little bit before it released, and then she brought it to me, and I liked it, except for the one thing.
No, we're counterspelling whatever the fuck Game Masters just did.
No,
I got to run. I just got my text, and folks are up. So looks like I'm heading to Little Rock.
Well, have fun in Arkansas.
Yeehaw.
Good to see you, Brian.
Did you say that often, like in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth every day?
I do. I'm a beautiful man.
Good morning, Brian. You're a beautiful man. I often imagine you like the Tick talking to yourself in great narration. So I was going to be here earlier, but he told me you guys are going to be talking about Mass Effect and Dragon Age video games. I'm like, well, I've never played Mass Effect, and I've never played Dragon Age, so I don't give a shit.
Well, that was going to be the point, but
so you're yammering on about D&D again, so I'm like, well, I got to get my fucking foot in this convo.
Yeah, my music's on too.
Yeah, we started, and then I wasn't sure what the like if there's a specific question or a specific angle we were looking for. We're pretty much talking about how the old games are better than the new games, which is true.
You sweet summer children with your old games. Dragon Age was cutting edge. It was that new games we hated because they were... Okay, I played Dragon Age. I played the first one. My buddy raved about it. So I said, okay, well, I'll pick it up and I'll check it out. It should be fun. I don't like watching my video games any more than I like reading my movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, my video game should be interactive. I should be doing stuff, not, okay, click and listen to this character talk for 5 minutes. Okay, there we go. Oh, I get a choice of an answer. Click. Like, I can't stand that stuff. And it's Knights of the Old Republic that introduced that to the gaming market in a big, big way. And they did it best. Because if you ever notice something in Knights of the Old Republic, the conversations you have are short. And then you get back to the action of the game. Now, I never played Mass Effect, but I heard it's the same as Dragon Age. There's an awful lot of info dumping when you talk to NPCs. Is that accurate? Because I guess I've never played it.
Optional. So there is an awful lot if you stand there and keep asking and keep clicking and keep, but you don't have to. So you could just not talk to them and go back up to your map and then go to the next mission or planet or wherever you want to go.
Yeah,
Which
but you do have some of those cutscenes where, like, you know, you're talking to the Citadel Council and you got to go.
Oh,
through
yeah.
your-
there's
you don't-
some. Yeah.
Go ahead, Tori.
I say there's some, like Seraphis mentioned, the council scene, and there's some bits like that, or like the end fight when it's like you fight and then you chat and then you fight and then you chat because you're kind of like trying to talk him down. It's sort of going after that whole movie thing where the bad guy and the good guy are like shooting lines at each other.
Yeah, nothing better than a bunch of fucking video game makers who think they're filmmakers. Oh, those are my favorite people. You know what there weren't a lot of in Galaga? Cutscenes. You know what there weren't a lot of in Pac-Man? Cutscenes. You just played the damn game.
I don't know. Those movies were pretty cutsceney.
I didn't say movies, did I? Did I, Sarah? Did I, Sarah?
I'm one of those people where I'm in it for the story. So I will sit there for hours just listening to them talk because I find the world building very interesting. I will also read a lot of the codex pages that you pick up. Like you run around, you click on something, a thing pops up that's like a bunch of just lore about the world, just randomly. And then
but the codexes are different though, because you can choose to take that time. Whereas in the cutscenes, to like, you know, advance a quest or something, you're locked into that progression. So if you're like Bear who wants to just play the game, you're now locked behind this long ass cutscene that you occasionally interact with. I can see your point, Bear. I don't necessarily 100% agree, but I can definitely see your points there.
Okay, Sarah. Something you guys need to understand is I speak from a position of authority because of my training, and in broadcast journalism, you're taught to speak with an authoritative voice. And therefore, a lot of people think that when I say something, I'm saying this is a categorical statement of truth, and you're wrong if you disagree. It couldn't be further from the reality of it. The reality is that this is my opinion. Your opinion's your opinion. None of us are right. We all just have opinions. There is no empirical truth to these things other than, yes, this video game exists and has cutscenes. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, and he's right that I mean that you're the getting trapped in the cutscenes and the nature that exists within the game. Like, yes, that is true. It's just some of us enjoy it and some of us don't. But yeah,
well, when I'm trying to start the game, so Dragon Age, I'm trying to start the game, but I got to run around this damn keep, right? And I got to talk to half a dozen different people. Yes, and I got to talk to half a dozen different people before I can actually get to the adventure. And then I get to the adventure, and the first thing I wind up doing, I think it's been many years, or maybe the second thing, or whatever. I'm on a mountaintop, and there's a gong or a bell. So, like an idiot, because I play video games, I ring the bell, and a dragon shows up and kills me. I'm like, well, that was fun.
That's Urn of Sacred Ashes. That's usually most people will play that much later in the game, although it opens up to you early.
No, I just went to the place and there was a bell. And I'm like, it's a video game, there's a bell, let's ring the bell, and then suddenly dragon, I'm dead. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You should definitely grab Shale before you do that.
Well, that assumes you have DLC when the game first when did Shale come out? Did Shale come out right in
Shale was available as a on launch DLC.
Oh, was she?
Okay. I just borrowed my buddy's disc, stuck it in my PlayStation, and started playing, or whatever machine.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. If there's one thing that it does have that is why like Game of the Year edition is kind of the only edition to me. Although that's not how it actually went about. But like all of the DLC, like all of the extra stuff. I do wish that it would have just been one game, you know, because Shale is amazing, and I feel like probably should have been included in the main game.
Oh yeah, like fucking Javik for Mass Effect 3.
But if you've heard the development story about that, you'd know why.
I call bullshit. I call absolute 100% bullshit. Because
like what? Like they're lying?
Yes, he is so. Okay. First of all, he's a fucking Prothean, and two, if he was thought of afterwards, why is so many of his lines and interactions integrated into conversations with characters throughout the
He wasn't thought
game.
of afterwards. He was a part of the main game, but the publishers basically said, screw you guys, we need this game out now, not 9 months from now. And they cut him because they basically ran out of time.
But then he was an on-launch DLC character.
That part I agree with you is like dumb, but the story goes that he was meant to be part of the original game, and it was basically BS from the
EA
publisher.
being EA.
Yeah. Which, I mean, let's be honest, EA being EA is a thing for a reason. It's a stereotype because it keeps happening all the time. Like, they keep ruining everything they touch. We all know this. This is kind of a considered accepted truth at this point, or at least I thought it was.
Yes,
So, I mean,
people would recognize that they've already done that to BioWare, and they should stop thinking of BioWare as being the game and the developers that made, Knights of the Old Republic and stuff, and start thinking of them as the people who made Anthem. That would be really good.
Yeah. See, and I still, again, I totally agree with a lot of the criticism, if not all of the criticism that are levied against like Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 2, Inquisition, and ME3. Like, I get it. The people that criticize that and what they're saying are not wrong at all. I just love the world too damn much. So I forgive those transgressions. I basically just let it roll off of me and like, okay, well, I'm not going to get upset about that because I'm going to enjoy this part. Like, I'm going to ignore that and I'm just going to enjoy what I have for what it is. But there's only, like, imagine a bar, like a Sims bar that slowly depletes, and all of the times I have to continuously defend the games, it's like it gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and now we get to Veilguard, and it's like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
That right there, that is how you can still enjoy the game and not have to give EA and BioWare any of your money. That is the Dragon Age RPG.
Well, let's be honest, EA and BioWare are still getting some money out of that.
Well, they're not going to get
very
money out of
little.
this, but Tori, you have me on Discord. Please send me your address. I was planning on selling this book, but hearing you rant and rave about Dragon Age, I'm going to pack it up in a box and send it off to you as an early Christmas gift.
Aww.
So
Well,
give me an address I can ship it to on Discord, please.
I wanted to play I never bought the book. It was, oh my gosh, how many years ago was it?
In very
there was
good
somebody
condition.
who wanted me to play it, and I didn't I wanted to, but I didn't have anyone who was interested in playing it with me.
Yeah, I bought that book twice. $70 Canadian each time. First time I bought it, sat on my shelf, really wanted to play it, but my buddies didn't want to play Age because we tried Fantasy Age and hated it. So we were like, okay, well, I guess we're not playing this then. And then one of my friends was like, oh my God, you have the Dragon Age, it's the band, I love it. I'm like, here, go away, take it, leave my house, please, now go. And then I saw it again on Amazon. I'm like, oh, I really like that book. It's really pretty. It's like, I would never run it, but it's a pretty book. So I'll buy it. It's been on my shelf now for 5 years. And I'm like, I'm never going to play it. So I figured, Tori, your home would be a good home for that book because you'd at least get the joy of reading it. And who knows, maybe you'd be like, hey, all my stupid friends that I role play with, we're playing Dragon Age now. And,
Oh, I totally would. If I would totally try to talk them into it if
there
I
you
could.
go. So now you know what to do, and I'll pack it up. Don't know when I'll ship it out, but you'll get it by Christmas, I promise.
Aw, you're too kind.
If you need
Yes,
some
I am.
PDFs, I can hook you up.
Far too kind. You're all evil people. I don't know why I'm so nice to you, especially this fucking thing over here.
I'm not evil.
Whatever you say, Arizomormo. I got nothing.
Exactly. I'm not evil.
You're misguided. Okay, fine.
That's fair.
Hey, Rivers.
I messed up.
You did something recently, Rivers, I saw. I really liked. I can't remember what the hell it was, though. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately, so I apologize for not remembering specifically, but I saw something you did, and I was like, oh, that was good.
Did you do
Now,
the
when I say
unboxing
recently,
of the...
I could be referring to the last 3 months also, by the way. So, yeah. So was that, Tori?
I think didn't he do the unboxing of the 50th? He did a unboxing of something of the 50th edition. It was one of those man, I wanted when they announced the golden red book, the 50th edition book with the never before seen letters from Gygax and Arneson and the notes, and like when they announced all that, I was so excited and I wanted to like the book. I really wanted to like the book. And then it came out and then people started like talking about the introduction and all of the inserts that they had put into it and all of that stuff. And it was like, guys, why'd you have to ruin this to me? I wanted to like you.
It was
Because
the
Crawford's
Lego
a prick.
figures, Rivers. I like Lego, and you had Lego figures, and then I realized there's D&D Lego, and then I was like, oh my god, I could do fantasy Lego, and that would be so much fun. And then I looked at the prices online, and went, well, funk that very much.
Yeah. I wanted the mimic. I wanted the little Lego mimic so bad, but I'm not going to pay that much money for it. I'm going to wait until...
Lego is ridiculously expensive.
It was so expensive. And then honestly, if I just like wait 5 or 10 years, some dude is going to sell it in a garage seller on eBay trying to get rid of it because it's been sitting on a shelf collecting dust. And then it's mine for much cheaper.
I think you are misguided, Tori, because I think it will only go up. Even
Legos don't come down unless you get them at a garage sale where they don't know what the hell they are.
Exactly. My youngest bought the D&D Lego set, and I hate that my children have much more disposable income than I do.
Yes.
The $469 Lego D&D set. I mean, Lego Ideas Dungeons and Dragons
$600
Red Tail
yeah.
building set for adults. And
Yes.
it's $469 for maybe $30 worth of plastic.
Lord. I could get my new desk chair for cheaper than that.
Yep. I get a new
I
desk for
want.
that.
So,
Yeah.
It's a really nice set.
Is it
Can I-
though?
It is.
Okay.
can I assume I'm talking to a bunch of Lego nerds then?
I'm sorry, Lego nerds? What?
I don't
Nerds.
think I qualify as a Lego
Nerds.
I don't think I qualify as a
they're
nerd. I
cute.
just qualify as someone who appreciates Lego.
Okay, well, if you'd prefer the older stuff, there's a lovely website called Bricklinks. You can get your minifigs and your old school stuff, search through buyers, and get them for generally the price that you would prefer, instead of
But it is also a market. Like a friend of mine, his son literally bought a 2019 or something Mustang by selling Legos on Bricklink.
yeah, I can get that.
Okay, but at the same time, there's a thing called Skull Sorcerer's Dungeons, and it's beautiful, and I want it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
No, I'm going to share with you because it's so beautiful, and you need to see this. And it's seriously, I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing to it. It's so beautiful. Sharing a link with you, Sarah, or a photo. Look at this beauty.
Oh wow.
She's
Oh
gorgeous.
yeah. Oh my gosh. That set or that whole, I'm going to call it that whole series angers me.
Why?
Okay, hold on. Seraph, scroll over to the right. Okay, right there. Nope, right there. Okay, that little like black triangle thingy in the corner. Yes. It's a game. Okay. There are like 7 other sets that combine with this to essentially make this Ninjago board game. And I was already working on my channel at the time. So it's Lego. It's a board game. It'll be fun. I'll get this and I'll cover it. I found the rules online and they are literally unplayable. Okay. That black thing is the dice to roll. It doesn't match the rules that they gave you at all. So the set looks cool. Even all the combined sets look cool. It adds all of these extra pieces. You literally cannot play the game that they give you. I think they just...
So your OCD aside, I want these just so I can make battlegrounds that my players can interact with in a 3D on a tabletop. which I would never do, but the intention would be there.
Yeah.
To sit down and build the mega dungeon and have their little Lego men go through the mega dungeon. That would be so cool.
One
Yeah,
time,
no.
oh,
Sorry.
as at one time, I actually built the D&D set for the next session that we were gonna play in Minecraft, and I loaded it up on my computer, and I had them run around inside the tavern that I had built, and it was like, I'm never gonna do that again. That was a ton of time and work and effort and all of that stuff, but it's so cool if you have that.
Well, I hate miniatures. I despise miniatures. I despise terrain building. I despise all of that hobbycraft shit. But I could spend as much time doing that, putting together Lego battle maps.
So, what's interesting is now it was probably 12 to 14 years ago, Lego did put out a game that was playable called Heroica. Now, it didn't use minifigures, it used micro figures, which, like, literally think of it as like pawns, just like, old school, like, just like the little cones or whatever that you'd use on a board game, like an old school board game to move around. And they were Lego pieces, and they had like little faces printed on them, and it was like they had a warrior and a thief and a wizard and all that kind of stuff. But literally, you could get all of your pieces. Now, it was designed more along the lines of a board game, but it was essentially like a little dungeon crawl, and it's a fun little set. I actually have those somewhere.
Well, these Journey to Skull Dungeons and Skull, they sell for nothing on here.
It would be in the closet upstairs with all the Legos.
Like, this can't be this cheap.
The Heroica stuff, or the one that you were showing earlier?
Journey to Skull Dungeons. I'm seeing people with having up. It must be an auction. Is it a bidding site? Is that what it is?
No. Bricklink. Well, check to see if it has the minifigures, because literally people will buy it, take the minifigures out, and literally recoup the entire cost of the set, and then just have the extra bricks left over. That's literally what my buddy's son does. Like, he makes most of his money off the minifigures.
It doesn't say. Oh, it's an empty box. Oh, okay, that's why I'm like, well, that's really cheap. Oh, it's an empty box. Never mind.
Oh, yep, that would explain it.
These are just people selling boxes. Who cares? I don't want boxes. I want Legos.
I would say if it's an empty box and it costs anything, it's too expensive. I'm not paying for an empty box.
But if you're trying to put a collector set together, but you have the pieces, but you don't have the box,
That's a thing?
Have you met nerds?
Probably, given my story earlier about how isolated I was, not really. I live in a place with no.
I must immediately turn off that page before I start spending the last of the money I own in my life. BRP has already bankrupted me. I can't afford to get into Lego. Thank you. I'm good.
I wanted to. My other half's a big Star Wars fan, and I wanted to get him a Lego Millennium Falcon, because this is like one of those things, like, he wanted it when his kid. His parents never bought it for him, and I thought it would be just like a really sweet, nostalgic thing, because and he's really hard to shop for Christmas, like really hard to shop for, because he either buys it himself or it's some ridiculously expensive thing I'm never going to actually afford. So the middle bit is difficult. And then I went to go look up how much it was, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's 2-3 car payments for me. It was so expensive. I did find a cheaper one that I could get him that was only like $100 instead of multiple hundreds of dollars, except the $100 one was like this big. I'm like, $100 for that? Like, So that plan fell through. I got him whiskey instead.
I got him whiskey instead. The crazy thing, well, the thing about that Lego set that you probably didn't realize, although you could probably infer it. So it's called the Ultimate Collector Series, but it's minifigure scale. So normally, like the the sets that they'll do are essentially play set scale. So you'll have a cockpit and maybe you can fit 1 or 2 people in the cockpit, or and maybe they'll have like a little spot like the Jarek table in the back of the Millennium Falcon. You'll get like a couple of little things, but overall you can't do everything. But that particular one is literally how big the Millennium Falcon would be if a Lego minifigure was an actual human.
So it's like the almost like the dollhouse style where like you could open it up and they could all sit and fit.
It's true scale. It's ridiculous.
Well, I could see how that would be at least more, maybe not that expensive, but more expensive. And yeah, I mean, it's the Millennium Falcon. It's like the one thing that everybody wants.
Yeah,
high sought after item. But I was sad.
What you should look up though is the Millennium Falcon coffee tables that people have made out of those. They'll make the Millennium Falcon and then build a coffee table around it because you can't display it anywhere. So then the coffee table's just covered in glass and then you can see in and all the stuff. Anyway.
I feel like that's like the iMac fish tank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Too right.
The fact that the jokes are still going.
Oh, they're never ending. And if I swear to God, if I see this woman get up on TV and start whining about how depressed she is because people are making fun of her, it's like, lady.
She already has been.
Yeah, you don't know how to parlay, because if you knew how to parlay, you'd have turned this into $1 million already. Like the Hakta girl. She managed to turn her bullshit statement into over $1 million at this point, right? Like,
isn't it Haktui?
The Haktua girl.
Listen, how you fucking spit on a dick is your business, Sarah. I'm not gonna...
Such nonsensical stuff.
Well, welcome to the Fall of Rome Part 2, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah,
I had the Millennium Falcon, the Kenner one, and it was a flimsy piece of garbage. And you dropped it once, and the cockpit would break off, and the top, you'd lose the top, and I'm never going to find that again. It's gone somewhere in the house now. Maybe it's holding up a table somewhere. Like, nah, this stuff's garbage. I remember I was like 12, 11. I just one day was like looking at all my Star Wars toys. I went, well, that's enough of this. And my father convinced me to sell it all to my friends. So I had a market day where all my friends came in to buy my Star Wars stuff. And my dad was there being a dick about it. And I'm just like going like, here, Bob, have this. And I'm just giving my friends stuff like, dang it, shut up. My dad's like, oh, you gotta put a price tag on everything. Oh, Jesus, this is why I don't sell shit on, like, I have books for sale right now on my Discord, my marketplace. I have no prices. Why? Just tell me what you want to pay. You cover the shipping, but tell me what you want to pay. Because I want the book to go somewhere and someone's going to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Not some asshole wants to collect and have that pristine copy on his... Fuck off. Books are meant to be read. Toys are meant to be played with. Come on. Collectors annoy me. I don't like collecting. It's silly. It's like, I guess it's because it's another form of competition, right? And I don't like competition. I grew up playing team sports, and I got really tired of competition because it just led to like some of the worst people ever getting rewarded for being the most obnoxious humans alive. But because they could throw ball better, they were celebrated as awesome people.
Now, Bear, I know
competition, Sarah, is this thing we do in the Western world. I know in Australia, you all just like have a big giant love-in. We actually compete with each other. It's amazing. Sorry.
I was going to say it's not pronounced. Now you got me stuck on.
You just grab that and you go Hakta. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, I'm gonna give her a little bit of credit. She didn't start an OnlyFans.
That's fair.
Well, and in this day and age,
right?
That's pretty impressive.
Yep. Sadly.
Collectors. It's not pronounced collectors. It's pronounced cunties. Because they're cunts. because
Yeah.
they take up fucking stuff that you would want to read, and then they sit on it to get it to appreciate in value, so they can sell it off for a higher price.
Yes.
They can go
As
fuck
someone
themselves.
who's just emptied his savings account, picking up all the basic role playing stuff I wanted, some of it I had to get on eBay, and I had to pay collector prices for to get some of it. I know it sucks.
Oh.
Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna sell some of my shit that's worth something to the collectors that I don't care about. The
There you
Hawk
go.
the Hawk playset from Lego. Nice, Sean. Good.
Mage, you're true gem.
He's a classy fellow.
No, Jesus, no, not at all. But he's highly entertaining. No, but there's a difference, Sachs, between a collector who collects for love of and wants to have everything, and the speculator market. And comic books were killed by the speculator market, right? They destroyed comics. And now secondary role playing is destroyed by the speculator market. Magic stuff is destroyed by the speculator market. People who think they're going to sell this one thing and retire on it, you put the ass in class, but not in your chaps, surprisingly.
Right, but that's the thing, is that the whole, like, the collectability of an object developed because people used it, and then it became valuable because there's few copies left.
No, that's not true.
No. I'm talking like actual collectible items.
Are you talking about like ancient artifacts and furniture from like the Victorian era? Because if you're talking about modern role playing shit, Redbox D&D, Beckme, was the highest selling copy of D&D until 3rd edition came along, which means literally tens of millions of printed editions of those boxes exist in this world. Yet go try and buy one on the secondary market.
Of basic, yes. Of expert,
that
champion
was one of the most overproduced. Tons of them exist out there, Brian.
But as you go down the series, it's less and less and less.
But no one cares about fucking Immortal, Brian, unless they just are completionist. No one gives a fuck about the Immortal set.
Right, but that's
3 sets.
No, but that's part of what makes it actually collectible.
But that's not the point I'm making. You're splitting the hair to say, well, the ones that are rare have a value at being rare. And I agree with you. Rare shit would have a value at being rare. But it's the stuff that's commonplace that has a forced rarity put on it by the speculator collector's market that is the fucking problem.
Right, exactly. It's the
manufacturers.
It's the manufacturers. It's the 2024 D&D Player's Handbook with the cool cover that you think is collectible. But no, there's 10 million copies of it out there. They didn't limit it to 5,000 copies, only. There's more than enough.
Yeah, I worked at Best Buy when the Amiibo thing first started, like the Nintendo Amiibos, like when that launched, and it was like ridiculous. Like we're kind of, and especially at that time, we weren't as big as we are now in terms of population. And people would there's one guy in particular that would stand outside the door for an hour before we opened on like a launch. And then he would come into the store, and we're the smallest store that Best Buy gets. And so we would get like 3 where other stores would get, 20 of them or whatever. But Nintendo intentionally didn't manufacture enough because they basically catered to these collector type people. And then this guy would stand out there for like an hour. The door would open. He would like immediately come into the store, and he was kind of a jerk. Like he wouldn't say anything to anybody. He wouldn't talk to us. He would like, rudely like elbow past us if we were standing or like in his way, go over to where he thought they would be. If they weren't there, he'd grab one of us and be like, where are they? Where are they? And we're like, okay, here you go. He would ask every time for our entire stock, or find the entire stock, take it all up to the front and buy them all, but like 801, right? And then at like 802 or whatever, a guy would come in and he had like a kid with him, and the kid was like, oh, I'm so excited. And we didn't have any left
because this 45-year-old dude who clearly does not play the games or whatever, he's just trying to hold on to them and sell them later at a higher price, had already bought them all. And after that was one particular, I mean, he came multiple times, but finally the one time when the other guy came in with his kid, my manager just put in a rule like, no more. We're not selling more than one to a person at a time. We're not selling our entire stock to one dude. And so then the next time it happened, he came in and we're like, we'll give you one. And he's like, no, I want all of it. We didn't put him out on the shelf. And he's like, oh, I want all of them. We're like, no, you can have one. We have a sell limit now. And he's like, well, that's just ridiculous. And I had to fight so hard from saying it's because of you.
This is why I firmly believe retail and restaurants need bouncers, just like bars.
Yeah.
So when that person comes in and starts elbowing past staff or grabbing them by the arm, someone like me rolls up behind them and goes, hi, would you like to go somewhere else and purchase your products, or would you like to let go of it?
Yeah. No. Well, or the policies that they have where like staff aren't allowed to do anything because they're terrified of incidents and they're trying to avoid.
Again, all you need to do, pay your insurance to get this for the security people in there, and have actual bouncers who basically just come over and go, hi, sir, I think you need to be leaving right now. I'm a customer. I can do what I want. Sir, we have the right to refuse service, and I'm refusing you service. Get the fuck out of the store now before I see if the hospital wants to refuse you service.
My favorite story was because it would be nice, but that's not the way it is. So like my first week there's a guy who picked up a Kindle and just walked out with it and waved it at the door guy as he walked out with it. Didn't pay for anything, just walked out with a Kindle because he knew he could, because the policies are very public. But my favorite story is one time there was a guy that was being a jerk and he tried to grab something and run with it, and he ran past someone that he didn't know and we didn't know was a retired cop.
Uh-oh.
So the guy just body slams him into the ground, knocks the item away. Like if he had handcuffs, he probably would have cuffed him, but he didn't. But like just manhandles him, escorts him out the door. And our manager was like flipping out. He thought two customers just got in a fight. And he was like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? And the guy's like, no, it's fine. I'm a retired cop, blah, blah, blah. But it was like justice, because we don't have that. I don't work there anymore, but
the rule in retail is you have to leave the store, right? If you pick up something, if I watch you in my store pick up whatever and put it in your shirt until you leave the store, you're not considered legally to be stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we always when we did LPO, loss prevention, we used to always have a 2-plan system, which is one guy goes outside and waits, usually the undercover guy. The other guy stays and walks around and goes, hi, do you need a bag or something? Or can I get you a cart for that thing you had in your shirt? And tries to get to feel awkward, so they'll put it back, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they run. And we were doing loss prevention at a Safeway in Vancouver. There's some stories I could tell you, but I won't, because I don't want to get Sarah completely demonetized. But this one guy I walked up to and I'm like, hi, would you like me to get you a cart for those steaks you just put under your shirt? And the guy's like a cracky, right? So he's just like, panics, bolts for the door. Meanwhile, Andrew, my other guy, Andrew Chisholm, is outside and undercover. So he's just waiting with a shopping cart. And as soon as this guy comes through the doors, he pushes the shopping cart in front of him. This fucking cracky hits the edge of the shopping cart, flips over, and lands in it. And Andrew just wheels him back into the store.
That's amazing.
We all loved that fucking security tape. We were all like, no, we need a copy of this, please. They wouldn't give it to us.
Oh, man, that's so great. Yeah, we didn't have too many. Most of the incidences we had were either not necessarily caught, or I wasn't privy to because I worked in the warehouse, or was one of those where, again, we're not allowed to do anything about it, per policy. And there were
these days, right?
It's just. Anyways, I don't work in retail anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah, me neither. I could not, with my temperament at my age, I could not work. And they always like, well, when you come to retirement time, you can make some extra hours for being a greeter at Walmart. I don't think Walmart will like that first week of, hi, welcome to Walmart. Go fuck yourself. I don't think that'll work out well for them. I think I'll get fired.
Yeah.
Welcome to Walmart. Go fuck yourself. Welcome to Walmart. Fuck you. Welcome to Walmart. Fuck off, you cunt.
Bear, we're going to need to talk to you about what a greeting really is.
Oh, cool. Fuck you. I'm on my break. Yeah. No, it's retail is a special plane of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really is.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, bars and restaurants are an extra level plane of hell. And I
Not
firmly
worked.
believe everybody in their 18th year of life, or whenever it is legal to drink, should have to mandatorily spend one summer working in a bar. Just so they learn what it's like, and they will be so nice to the staff for the rest of their lives after that. Because you can always tell in a bar or restaurant the patrons who've worked in bars and restaurants, because they're super respectful, they tip well, they don't cause any trouble. If shit starts to happen and they used to be bouncers, they're up going, "Hey man, I got your back," right away. Like, which it's weird. But then there's all the little spoiled kids who don't, and they are the worst ever.
Yeah, I went the other way with that bear.
What'd you do?
Well, I didn't do bar. I went security at a bar.
Oh well, it's the same diff, same story.
They my
When I started being a
other
bouncer, you just worked as a bouncer. You got hired because you were big and ugly and mean, and that's how they hired you, right? Last time I was working, you had to have your security papers and you had to have all this shit for insurance because insurance has ruined the world. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Tori.
no. My other half worked at a bar restaurant in the kitchen for a couple of summers, and it was one that was on the lake. So you got a lot of wealthy hoity-toity people. You got a lot of I'm only here for in the summer. They're not locals. Yeah, he has a lot of stories from working there. Thankfully, it wasn't all bad though. It seemed like it was fairly nice, and he didn't have to again. He was in the kitchen, but yeah, that's what that makes me think of.
I worked with a bouncer one time. It was this French Canadian guy, Mark, and he was the biggest Stone Cold Steve Austin fan you would ever have met in your life. Like, he just loves Steve Austin. And one night we were working at this shit bar in Vancouver. It was the worst. It was like a welfare bar basically, and in Vancouver that means it's fucking psycho time. And I see the conversation start, and I'm halfway across the bar. So I start moving because I'm like, oh, this is going to get bad. I can already tell from Mark's body language this is going to get physical. So I'm starting to move through the crowd, but I'm getting tied up because there's a lot of people. I don't want to throw people out of my way. And then just as I get there, he fucking boots the guy in the nuts, flips around, and gives him a stone cold stunner right in the middle of the fucking bar. And I just stopped, and I was like, because I'd never seen anything like that in real life, right? Not the guy the fuck out. Like, the guy was out cold. But Jesus Christ, man. Bouncing is a special fucking thing that I would never do again in my life, but I'm glad I did just because of the shit I got to see. And like in working in security, Sarah, you see shit that normal people generally don't ever get to see, and you just got to go, humans, we are the worst. We are absolutely the worst.
And you have stories.
Yeah, they're funny for the first 2 or 3. Then by the time you get to like story 5, people start to get real creeped out. Stories start getting darker and darker as you go, you know?
See, mine is just assholes. But unfortunately, my friend has one of the, this just got darker. Because I think I can. Actually, I'm not sure if I can tell this one, so I'm not going to. But
cunt.
Okay, fine. So
change the names.
There's a guy who was acting suspicious at this.
Sure. Name was Mariphus.
Business, right? So he is kind of tailing him around and trying to figure out what he's up to. And then the dude drops something and he goes over, and it is the bloodiest knife he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately grabs the guy and goes, dude, what, you just dropped this, what the fuck? And the dude panics and attacks him. He drops him down and then has the other security guys come over and, hold him down and call in the police. He goes back to where he first noticed the dude, opens the door, realizes something seems a little bit odd, walks in a little bit, and finds a woman stabbed to death.
Ah, Jesus. Yeah, that's the downside.
Yeah.
That's the downside, is you get to see some of the really dark shit. See now, Sarah, listen, man. When telling stories, that's story 10, okay?
That's story
10. You don't, that's not story 1. You got nowhere to go.
I never said it was story 1.
Other than genocide after that. Like, you've got no place to go to, man.
Okay, so
Alright, well, the party left out is
the jumper. Do I go before that or after that then?
Jumper would be after. Yeah, Jumper would definitely be after murder victim.
Okay, so don't tell the jumper story then.
Not
So, okay,
yet.
there's a famous Canadian serial killer named Robert Picton. I don't know if you guys know who Robert Picton is, but he basically was famous for picking up street hookers and native girls, and he had a pig farm. Okay, do I need to go into any more details? No, good. The year before all that broke out, we were doing security at this one place in Vancouver, and there was this one cracky girl whose name I cannot remember now, but we knew her by name. Like, that's how common we had to deal with her. And one night she was tripping balls, and she was running around naked through the mall, and we were trying to catch her, and we're trying to coordinate, and the cops are there, and they're trying to help us and everything, and she's running through the mall going, no, they're going to take me to the pig farm. And we don't know what the fuck she's talking about. We just think she's lost her shits and marbles. And then a year later, the Robert Picton story breaks, and we're all like, oh, Jesus Christ, they're going to take me to the pig farm, which led to the understanding that people knew what the fuck was going on for years on the street and didn't trust cops to tell them. So how many lives could have been saved if, they hadn't did that fucking don't trust cops mentality? You know what I mean? Think about that. Hey, see, there you go, Sarah. Nice and dark for you. Because you left me nowhere to go. I couldn't tell my funny poop on the ceiling story after your fucking dead person story.
Okay, hold on. Well, something happened today if you really want to hear.
Go for it, man. I can't wait to hear what nastiness is going to come out of your mouth. You are a strange man.
So, Grim removed evidence from a crime scene.
I'm sorry, what? Say again, please?
Grim, my darling partner, removed evidence from a crime scene.
Why are you admitting this on a broadcast medium?
Because we've already turned it into the police.
Okay. So she did it by accident, not on purpose.
Yes. She did it by accident. Because she was like, oh, there's a bag here and there's someone's wallet here. Oh, I'll pick it up. I can't really see where this came from, so I'll take it back home.
I can't read the ID. There's too much blood on it.
And then called the police to have them come pick it up, and she informed them. When the cop got there, she is going over everything with him, and I'm like, my darling, that's a burglar's bag. And she's like, what? It's like, you just said that you saw 4 wallets in there and diamond rings and expensive things, a tablet and such. That's a burglar's bag. And she's like, oh.
How innocent is Grimsy? Like, seriously, how innocent is Grimsy at the end of the day? Because, like, I mean, Jesus Christ. 4 wallets, diamond rings, tablet. All right, that's some stolen shit right away,
We have a rolling joke that I'm in charge of all the money and all the computer stuff and online stuff because she might accidentally give away the house.
I heard Paris Hilton was in town, so this could be her bag. Fair dinkum. There we go. Nice.
I might have to delist this afterwards.
About that time, I'm gonna have to go because we're doing a breakfast. But hey, it was fun. We talked about Mass Effect at one point. We talked about Dragon Age.
What was the Mass Effect end scene where the dead character was back in the end scene when they're all getting off the spaceship? Was that Mass Effect 3, 2? Which one was that?
It's probably Mass Effect 3.
It was a huge deal on the internet when it happened. It's like, but you killed this character like 5 cutscenes ago, and now the last final shot of everybody getting happily off the spaceship, there's the dead character dismounting with them.
I have no idea. I did only play 3 once, and I started it one other time, but I haven't played 3 like I've played the other 2, and I haven't played the Mass Effect games as much as I've played the Dragon Age games. And I have some of the Dragon Age novels, like I've read the book, so I'm much more into that world. I don't know. I
made the right decision giving you this Dragon Age book because clearly you're a Dragon Age fan if you're reading their fiction as well. Wow.
I am. I'm reading. I have 3 of their novels. Well, and it was so great because like one of my favorite memories when Inquisition came out was they put Cole in there. And if you don't know who Cole is,
He was like a good lump of coal in the book. There you go.
yeah, well, if you don't know who he is, so like he shows up in the game and he's basically this weird character with like this uber big hat that hides his eyes, and he looks really weird and he acts really weird. So anyone who encounters him for the first time is like, what the heck is up with this? And when he appeared on screen for the first time, I like looked at the screen and I was like, is that Cole? And both the two people who were sitting next to me like turned to me and they looked at me and they're like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, that's Cole. And I went into this whole big thing. I got all excited because I knew who he was because I read the books.
Yeah,
And
isn't
so-
he a spirit?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had
Yeah,
read
I would
Asunder.
have figured that out just by the fact that I've played the other games and know the fucking lore. Not that
Oh,
I've
they
read any
hadn't.
fucking books.
What did you think of Dawn of the Seeker?
Oh, I liked it.
I thought it was quite good. What was the what's her name, who I cannot stand, nerd girl that everyone loves so much?
You might have to be more specific.
Is on the new Mystery Science Theater.
Oh,
used to be
Felicia
on the-
Day.
Felicia Day. What was the Dragon Age thing she did where she played the elf assassin? It was a short film. It was really good. Like I was really shocked at how good it was. Given I hate Felicia Day's career with the fiery passion of 1,000 Suns.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But she did a short film where she played an elf in Dragon Age and she was an assassin. It was really good.
the Tavinta one, and what's his face? Doug Jones was the Kunari in that, or the Kossuth in that.
There you go. Well, I only come here to talk to Tori because the rest of you are boring. So since she's leaving, I'm going to leave too.
Time for breakfast. It's 9:00 here. It's time. We're doing a Hawaiian, so it's rice with a little butter and soy sauce, hamburger, ground beef, egg over easy with Japanese barbecue sauce on it. It's so good.
How's that Hawaiian? None of that is Hawaiian other than maybe rice. There's no pineapple. There's no Spam. How is this Hawaiian?
I don't think it is. That's just the name that I call it because that's how it got introduced to me. Although I like fried Spam. I love fried Spam. Fried Spam is really good.
No, fried Spam's delicious. And
It's amazing.
I will forever blame Mikey Chen because I used to, during COVID, I watched Mikey Chen's channel and put on 20 pounds because it was like, well, that looks good. I gotta try that.
All right. Well, I'll catch you guys later.
And I'm going to wrap that too. So, Sarah and Brian, thanks for having me on. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And, now you can talk about video games without me sitting around making faces and being a big baby about it.
Oh, no,
Bye,
go
Bear.
to BattleTech now.
What? Sorry, what?
Going to talk BattleTech now. Oh man, I need to connect with a Nerd's Nerd on Discord because she'd make a great trifecta of BattleTech nerd.
There's a bunch of good people that we could involve in a good BattleTech chat. Nerds. She's surprisingly good at painting. Anyways, there's definitely good people out there. Brain just totally turned off for a second.
That's a good. See, this is why I do this at like midnight, so that I don't have Grim giving me commentary and sniping comments like Kim.
You were there in the early days when I started doing my paint streams, and like Kim would literally just come through just making snide comments.
I have gone back and watched a lot of them though.
It's your what?
Sole purpose in life, my reason de.
Anyways, so anyhow, BattleTech.
Or Eberron. I mean, we can talk about that too. I mean,
I'll talk whatever. We have different church today.
different church.
Every short answer, just like every 6 months, it's it's not normal church. So anyway, basically my point is I'm not having to rush off. Actually, is like once we get off, I'm gonna go to bed because like actually that's why I was late. I was taking a nap. I'm
glad you finally did.
I just oh my gosh. Anyway, so but yeah, the game last night was absolutely amazing. The like there were flaws in how we were playing it, because like so we have this tendency where somebody is going to decide, okay, I'm going to do the scenario this time, and just make something up that sounds really good on paper, and the scenario does not survive contact with the table. You're like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, that's way too powerful. Oh, I allowed that. Oh, that like. So last night, my intention was that everybody's supposed to be bringing mechs. And like one guy had said, well, what if I want to bring elementals? I'm like, I don't know the rules for elementals, so let's skip that. But I didn't say no vehicles. And so one guy brought like 2 helicopters, and we went in teams, so it was 3 versus 3. So we're playing teams, and the guy that brought the helicopters is on the team that brought with the guy that brought the Apollos, and I didn't know that ERLRMs were a thing.
ERLRM?
Yes.
Okay.
Range of 37, I think.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And so then they had helicopters that were flying at level 20. So they were above all of this intervening terrain and could now spot for the extended range, long range missiles. He literally just starts. And he's got like, and he brought 3 of the Apollos. And so he had like 6 LRM 15s or something. Oh. And I brought a behemoth, and he just starts dropping them all over this thing. Like, I got to fire with it like twice.
I'm surprised you got that much.
Yeah, because I couldn't see anything because there were buildings in the way. Anyways, but no, overall it was. But yeah, so that's the thing. I didn't say no vehicles. Didn't really have anything to counter vehicles. Because also I literally like picked the units I was going to use at like everyone was literally waiting for me to start playing because I hadn't picked out any units yet. Anyways, short answer, the scenario needed some play testing, but that's the funny thing is that's essentially how we play. Is we'll make up a scenario and we'll have fun with it, and it goes sideways, and it doesn't matter because it so in this case it's 6 guys, and we're just having fun, and we're laughing about how, because we're playing with 3D terrain, suddenly the Shadow Cat shoots a guy with a PPC, and he's like, wait, where did that come from? Because he didn't see it behind the trees. Like, literally did not see it. You know, somebody's like, oh yeah, that mech that's on the other side of that building, and I'm looking, and all I'm seeing is a building. I'm not seeing the mech on the other side of it. So it was a completely different experience. But it was a lot of fun. So you know.
See, it's stuff like that that makes me want to keep playing BattleTech. But then as we were talking about in chat, like, freaking, it's so hard and so expensive to get the Battletech stuff here now. And that's if I can get any of the stuff I'm actually after. Like, I'm kind of lucky at the moment because it looks like people aren't buying anything at the moment. But then I've also got no money to buy like $70 worth of 4 pieces of plastic.
So, and honestly, my reaction to that would be about how I originally played. I didn't have all the mechs. I have tons of mechs now, but I'm 50 years old almost, and I,
Like you should have a ton of mechs.
yes.
You don't have enough space in this house for your.
Anyways, but yeah, so I have a ton of mechs now, but at growing up, like I used a D4 because it was pointy and I knew which direction the mech was facing. But now, like we have access to 3D printing. We have like what a lot of people discount is like the reinforcements box that they did for Clan Invasion. That's just all cardboard standees. Is it as cool as a plastic figure? No. Is it cheap and at least representative so that you can play the game and have some fun with it? Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is that here, fucking plastic prawns, the cardboard prawns, sell out immediately. Be it for Pathfinder or for Battletech or whatever, they sell out immediately.
Sure. No. I get. No, I'm just saying. Looking at those kinds of options. I mean, heck, you can. So I should do a video about this. I got the idea from a friend of mine, but like he would make tokens instead of like worrying about miniatures for monsters and heroes and whatnot for D&D. And so he would get like just little wooden discs, and which you could go to a craft store and get like little 1-inch discs for, like 100 of them for $5 or something. I'm making up numbers, but you could do something like that.
Yeah.
And then you get a circle punch from the same craft store, and you just take your printer, print out whatever art you need, take your circle punch, punch out the art, and glue it to your little wooden disc. And even in Battletech, I mean, especially like say you're playing on Battletech maps. Well, it's all 2-dimensional anyway. So what's the difference of having a little 2-dimensional disc on your hexes? Is it as fun as a plastic mech? Not as much. Does it work? Can you play the game and have some fun? Absolutely. So, I mean, I understand the shipping issues, but my thing would just be don't give up on the game just because shipping sucks and Catalyst is kind of retarded and
well,
all
apparently
the other
not
problems
in your country, but they are definitely in mine.
No, dude, all the horror stories you're hearing about are all for the United States. So yeah, there's stupid stuff happening in the US. I'm not claiming that it's perfect here. Heck, stuff started shipping. Like, I'm shocked at how slowly this shipping is going. Like it's been like 2 months now. How there can't be that many backers that the only thing for 2 months that that Quartermaster is doing is shipping this game. So I don't know how they're doing it, but they're not. You know, like I'll put a lot of this on Quartermaster, even with all of the stupid things that are coming out of Catalyst. So
apparently, Mercenaries had 23,654 backers.
And again, it can't be that complicated.
As far as I can tell, all they needed to do was ship it to each of the local distributors for them to then ship off into each of the regions.
Right. Right. No, and that's where Catalyst becomes part of a problem. Because, oh, well, this got shipped to this international hub. Oh, well, we forgot this, or this was short. It's like, how did you not run these numbers already?
You know, if you look at the Kickstarter, they keep saying, oh, we've checked the numbers, we've been over it this many times and whatnot. And then you get up to the one, a week or two ago, the update, and it's like, oh, looks like a bunch of stuff ended up shipping to the US hub instead of the EU hub for international shipping. And it's like, is it just the EU hub or is it everyone else in the world?
Right.
Because I don't know anyone in Australia that's gotten theirs.
Right. And so that's why I'm saying I'm not trying to give them, claim that they're innocent on any of that. When they started shipping, it was literally like 6 weeks before I got my notice that it was coming. So, it's all taken a while. I'm just trying to say, don't give up hope that you're going to get your stuff. You're going to get your stuff. It's just, sadly, it's going to take a little while. But to me, don't let that kill your enjoyment of the game. Because honestly, at the end of the day, the rules haven't changed. The game hasn't changed. There's...
Well, apparently there are ERLRMs now.
There are... Okay. Well, the other thing you also have to keep in mind is that because we were playing on a 3-foot by 6-foot table, and I didn't want us to take many turns to get across the table to start interacting with each other, I'm like, oh, we're gonna be going too slow for how I want this to go. So everything was like, if it like speed and ranges were all multiplied, by 50% or like bumped by 50%. So these 38 range ERLRMs were now like 57.
I feel like you brought this on yourself.
What?
I feel like you brought this on yourself.
I did. I absolutely did. But it was still great. Well, again, keep in mind that everything was mech scale. We weren't playing map scale. So having the extra 50% was kind of cool that you have guys literally lengthwise of the table dropping LRMs, and it felt like you were getting dropped by LRMs. So, hold on. ERLRMs.
Although, that brings up an interesting thing, because if you'd allowed the elementals, how would that have, additionally, because they can move pretty damn fast.
Right. Well, the problem is, so basically, well, sure, but the problem was that it was essentially it was a take and hold kind of a situation. And so the rules were you had these APCs that would be taking your infantry. So whether you were clan or intersphere, whatever, that's what your elementals are doing. They shouldn't be engaging with the mechs because they're trying to capture the buildings. That's part of the reason that I disallowed them, because thematically they should be doing something else.
So you just disregard Clan Ghost Bear's entire strategy then?
Sure. We don't play factions anyways. Again, we just make stuff up and have fun with it. But again, my point really is that, just have fun with the game. Don't stress about the shipping or, well, they got it first and I don't.
No, it's not that they got it first. I'm just worried I'm not going to get it this year.
Well, that could absolutely happen, but
And that's going to annoy the crap out of me.
Sure. I don't disagree. But I don't know. So it's interesting because I'm kind of shifting, like the whole, don't give money to people that hate you, or, this company's being stupid or whatever, and letting that, get in the way of good games, good times with your friends, things like that, I think has actually become a problem. And so that's why, like I have issues with stuff that Catalyst has been doing, but I enjoy Shadowrun. I enjoy BattleTech. I'm not going to cut that out. Am I buying everything that they put out? No. But I'm not willing to just cut it out. Oh, because it's got Catalyst name on it. And
see, I know what I have said about it, but at the end of the day, like your painting streams, I don't think there's ever going to be a time when I won't be looking at a new pack that's come out and go, I'm not going to get that, even though it's got everything in it that I want. More than likely, I will probably get it. But, it's kind of become they've brought out a new pack. Yeah, Grim, I'm just putting some money aside because could you pay, this part of the bill so that I can get this? It's not becoming that anymore. It's become I love BattleTech, I love Shadowrun, but it's gotten to a point where I'm just fed up with Catalyst. If I get stuff, I will get it, but I'm no longer actively going to be going out of my way to get it. If I miss it, I miss it, basically.
And the funny thing is, I'm pretty much the same way. I got a bunch of
connections too.
I do have connections, but the thing is, I'm not constantly calling in the connections. It's the son of a guy who works the booth at Gen Con and can and can comp stuff for people that deserve to get stuff comped. And he's literally said, he's like, you make videos, you do reviews, you do all that stuff. Yes, we should be comping you stuff. Okay. And I only ask at Gen Con. And I don't ask, and I'm just like, here's my list. And he's like, I can get you this. Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm not chasing after everything. Like BattleTech, I'll be honest, I kind of hate where they're going with everything. So I have
Dark Age and stuff. Or?
Actually, I didn't hate Dark Age. I went a little too heavy into Dark Age, but that's a separate story. But I didn't necessarily hate the Dark Age storyline, but how they're going about Ill Clan. I read the Hour of the Wolf, and it was fine, but it was Risk the novel is really the only thing I could say about it. So
I have no idea what's going on with any of that stuff. So
yeah, at the end of the day, honestly, I want my tech readouts, and I want my maps, and I want my mechs. And at this point, as far as I'm concerned, the storyline stopped at the end of at the end of the FedCom Civil War. I don't follow any of the storyline after that.
I will go to when the Ghost Bear Dominion became the Rasselhag Dominion. But yeah, I don't think I've gone much further than like, what, 3085-ish? 3087? I think that's about as far as I've gone.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. You know, my sister-in-law is here. So
Hi, Lily.
okay. Actually, on that note, I'm gonna have to go.
Fair enough.
So, and you should probably go to bed anyways. The kids are gonna get up early. So
Yeah, actually, it is almost 1 a.m., so that's probably a good idea.
anyways, we'll talk more. And yes, my plan for the deep dives is still in place, but just things have been happening. We'll talk more. Anyways, Seraphis, it was always wonderful. So,
You too, man.
all right.
See you later.
All right, bye.
Oh, now that the pre-stream stuff is out of the way, welcome to Talking Drek today. It was going to be about Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and that has gone completely off the rails. So, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed, everyone, being here on the pre-stream, because we had what? Game Masters, Gaming with ADHD, T and Tori, and Bear. So, yeah. That was about it, I think. Yeah. And, hello to Aegis and Galaxy and Grumpy and Saxius and Majors and everyone else who has been in the chat. I hope you have not lost more brain cells. Oh, and Rivers and Mr. Baker. I hope you guys haven't lost any brain cells by paying attention to this absolute nonsense that's been going on. But yes, I will. Yeah. Think of a discussion. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we really should talk about Dragon Age and Mass Effect next time. I really wanted to talk about that stuff. Yeah, that was a shame. But yeah, otherwise, if we can't next time, then I don't know. Go knows about Eberron, so I can talk about Eberron. And then I can talk about all the things that annoyed the crap out of me about 5th edition Eberron because they just fucked it up. So yeah. Yeah, sorry, that's right. Oh, jeez. It's almost 1 a.m., so apologies. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Dragon Age and Mass Effect games, or at least the first two in both regards, with T and Tori tonight, this morning. One of those, as time zones is accurate. But obviously we kept getting sidetracked, and I don't know why I decided to plan out having a conversation about that, because clearly that never happens, does it? Oh well. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I've already got my next video done, so that's good. No spoilers, but it'll be very thematic for what was happening in this episode of Talking Drek. So that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, so actually, you know what's funny? Because while I've been playing my 3.5 game, because I'm playing a Dwarf Artificer in that, I've actually worked out a method of converting a bunch of unique magic items from Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Awakening and the DLCs to 3.5 and coming up with a bunch of various magical items to be used in the game that I'm basically pawning off as my Dwarven clan's unique set of magic items and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. And I started with